Welcome to the finale live. Yay!
Well, it's right into the mic.
Wait, how many more do we got here?
Yay! Okay.
Pop some at Carlo. Pop some at Carlo.
No. Okay. Okay, that's enough. Oh.
Oh my god, the mic.
That was over this way. It wasn't in front of the mic.
Awesome.
We're having fun. We're having fun.
All right, it's the finale. We're excited. It was a very long episode. Welcome back to Addicted Media Reviews, the final review of Westworld Season 2. As always, I am Nick.
And I'm Lucas.
And I'm Jasmine. Hey.
I temporarily forgot that we need to speak into the mics. I tend to forget that a lot. So in case you couldn't hear me the first time, this is Addicted Media Reviews. Tonight, the beer was purchased by me. It's the beer that I wanted last week. This is the Magic Hat.
Ah, yes. How fitting.
This hits all of our criteria because it is only 5-point-something%. So hopefully Jazz can stay sober long enough to get through the episode.
Hopefully I don't have to use the restroom.
However, this might end up being a little bit of a longer episode because we have a lot to talk about.
Yes, we
There's
do.
a lot of loose ends.
Oh, God.
I think we can go ahead and take Carlo's face out of the...
Oh, but before we take his face down, we should talk about Carlo cannot join us this week. Carlo is in Hawaii. Believe it or not, that's not Carlo. But we missed him, so we thought we would build a Carlo. Yeah. This one's a little bit buffer than Carlo, but... anyways, I'm going to raise this mic up a little bit.
We've recreated him in the spirit of tonight's episode.
Oh, good
Ooh,
call.
look
call
at that.
there.
Wow. Alrighty, so let's get it started.
Oh, by the way, Lucas,
Yes.
you should... Wait. I'm sorry. Jess, start talking about the episode.
So, well,
Just so you're ready for later.
it was a very interesting episode. Everything came together. It was pretty exciting, I thought. What about you guys?
I've seen it twice now, and to be perfectly honest, I'm still like coping with everything that we saw. I'm still getting used to what just happened.
A lot of what the fuck moments.
What we're supposed to take from all of this, you know?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, we should address this. Because somebody, I don't know, this should not have been center, but this is absolutely the most awkward balloon I've ever seen. This pack of balloons that Nick got was full of all shapes and sizes.
I really don't know why it was
one.
there, to be honest.
We got good balloons. I don't know.
Who blew that? I think that was you, right, Lucas?
These, by the way, are the hardest balloons in the world to blow up. That's why most of them are deflated here on the table because it was just not worth the effort.
Yeah, they're better like this.
But we bought enough stuff to celebrate. It's the end of the season. We still got our gummy bears. We still got our beer. Let's move on to actual content, people.
Yeah, so I don't even know where to begin. Like, there's just, oh my God.
How's volume, by the way?
Yes, we heard that there was massive volume problems last week. If you hear anything wrong, sync, levels, or just like that clip, if that blew out your brain, let us know, and we will try to adjust.
You will not hurt my feelings, I promise. I would much rather you be able to hear us than anything.
Also, if you see Addicted C posting, that is Carlo in Hawaii. So Carlo potentially could chime in. Hopefully he managed to watch the whole episode because it was a freaking long episode. There was a point when Jazz was watching, and where were we? We were like Dolores and Bernard in the damn forge, and Lucas was like, I can't believe this is only 40 minutes in and there's 40 minutes left.
Yeah, it was a really long episode. The one thing that stood out to me that I want to bring up is William, or the Men in Black, has never seen Bernard Arnold until that scene.
See, in my thought, he has.
Oh.
I think it's the same thing as in season 1 when Bernard kept looking at the picture and he couldn't see everybody.
Oh, I see.
I think that was our first hint that, like, oh, the Men in Black really is a robot. Deal with it.
Yeah, spoiler alert, by the way, yeah.
If you watched an hour and a half of that and didn't get that the Man in Black is a... Wait, let's ask this question. Did everybody stay till after the credits?
Yeah.
Because we tricked Jazz into staying till after the credits because we were sure that she would turn it off.
We gave her permission to watch the next week's episode thing, and she stayed.
You're dumb. Well, I just had nothing else to do at that point.
Although it got to that scene at the end of the credits, and I think I have this scene, and I love that Jazz's comment was, we already knew that. What's the point of this scene? we already knew this. He's just sitting there like, what are they testing for? Fidelity. Jazz is like, we already knew this.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Reddit and other people out there kind of guessed all the theories, and you're right. It does kind of take the fun out of it.
The end of the season, I get the admittance.
It does take the fun out of it, but the one thing that was fun is to see all the theories that were theorized that did not come true. So Teddy is not Bernard.
I thought for sure when she lifted.
How was that even like possible? Like I just like.
Well, when she lifted Teddy's ball out.
Yeah.
I was like, she could still put this in the Bernard at some point.
Yeah, I thought that was where it was going to go.
His control ball. That's what it was.
His cortical ball.
Is that one of the? That's not one of the 5 in the.
One of the 5 balls from the end?
Yeah.
I do not think so.
It. She's
literally got a bunch of balls in her bag.
She has a lot of balls in her sack.
She's got a good ball bag.
Ball
but
sack?
I need
sack.
Jazz is calling it a ball sack there, Lucas.
Not a sack. It's got a zipper. It's a nice purse. Not a sack.
It's a ball purse?
That's a bag. That's a ball bag.
It's a ball bag.
It's a ball bag. All right. Stop busting your balls.
But we don't know.
Shut up, Jazz.
We don't know. I mean, like, I guess they're confirming 5. But
they wanted to make sure you saw 5 balls.
But, like, there's a bunch of I'm looking at it here. There's a bunch of fabric on the right. Like, there could be one more. And which 5 are they?
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Who are those people?
To know.
Well, I don't think it's Maeve. Maeve is coming back. Who does she have access to that she'd want to bring back?
Well, okay, I think one of those is definitely going to be Bernard and Charlotte. Because we saw them back at
like
Arnold's
actual
old place.
Charlotte?
Well, the thing that they used to make new Charlotte 2.0.
Well, they could just put
Dolores Charlotte?
It was Dolores' ball that was in Charlotte's head.
Well, but there was wait. So there's 2 Doloreses now, one in a Charlotte body and one in a Dolores body?
That's what I was confused about at the end there. I think I have a clip of that as well, because it was like, wait a minute.
Oh, you guys, they are in the framework of some sort. They're not in the real world.
I truly believe so.
No, they're not.
They're not in the real world.
Because there's no widescreen. That's the real world. That's why they established that earlier.
Yeah, this is real, man.
This is real. This is the basement of Arnold's house, that Ford finished building.
But we see Dolores and Charlotte in that building. But paracetamol is also glory, glory, hallelujah that Charlotte was not Arnold's kid. That was another one that was like, what?
Yeah, I agree.
Like he's just misremembering his kid's gender. I don't know.
I'm with Mary Poppins as well.
Okay.
Clementine better be dead. She was just this plague. And I was almost like, how is she more powerful than Maeve? Where Maeve couldn't just like shut her down or shut down her influence.
Oh, because they tweaked her too. They did something
That's still upsetting.
When they got the code from Maeve, they like made it more badass and put that in Clem. But hopefully, yeah, Clem lays to rest.
I mean, the whole Clementine massacre was just a moment in the show of like, oh crap, there goes everybody. Mm-hmm. And I really was hoping that Maeve would be able to save the day.
You know what? To be honest, I was kind of disappointed with Maeve's storyline. I know like her whole point was like trying to get to her daughter, but I really felt like there was more for her than just that scene.
Oh, Lucas.
Even though she went full Matrix.
Yeah, my Maeve Neo photo didn't make it. It was number 9.
Oh, the one photo.
That's okay.
She went full on Matrix, and it was awesome.
Yeah, Essie brought up the question again. By the way, sorry to backtrack a little bit.
Streambot is also asking questions.
That's Essie. We've got all the chat in one chat now.
Oh, perfect.
How did you do that? That was nice. What did we need Carlo for? Knock that off. Knock that thing off the screen. Just kidding. Just kidding. Don't touch it. That was very well crafted.
So is there 2 Dolores, or did she switch the pearl to the new Dolores? Is that what you were talking about earlier?
Yeah. So now are we getting like, did she copy paste Dolores into Charlotte body?
That's what I thought.
That'd be weird.
I think she
That'd
made
be
Charlotte
weird.
body into like a drone.
No, but I thought it was like similar to what Ford did to Bernard and how they were both sharing Bernard's body.
It's Angela.
No.
Who's Angela?
The blonde
Angela-
chick that died in the cradle?
I thought you were the blonde chick from The Office.
You mean, are you talking about the
blonde
balls?
chick that died in the cradle?
Who else would she get the balls from besides her most loyal followers? She couldn't bring Clementine because Clementine was corrupted.
Yeah.
But Angela died to blow up the cradle.
that one. Oh,
No, but
maybe.
there's no way that she could have gotten Angela's pearl because she blew up with the cradle.
Maybe
But the thing is,
Unless she
there's got to be
copied
a
it.
specific reason to use Charlotte's body because you have the 3D printer essentially in the house,
By
so
the
you
way-
can make any body you want. So why not make Angela's body if it's
because
Angela?
they need a Charlotte so they have control of the company.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Paracetamol says she likes the name Pearl. See, Joel says he was hoping, or Mary Poopin says he was hoping it was Angela too.
Those
Of course
things
you guys
actually look
would.
like those really fancy chocolate truffles at those high-end candy shops.
God.
It's like little speckled chocolate balls.
Yeah, they do
They look
look-
delicious.
They do. Look
They
delicious.
do. They look really good.
There's a bottle of tequila we used to have that had a lid that looked just like that, and you would screw it on.
You guys are going way off topic. This is not it's not anything to do.
We're having a
With
good time
Westworld.
today.
It's the
Okay,
finale. We
It's
got
the
lots to
finale.
talk about.
We're hanging
Deal
out.
with it, Jez.
Well, there is so much to talk about. What about? Did you guys notice when Stubbs, before Charlotte Hale left the island,
That wasn't Charlotte Hale.
or sorry, before Dolores left the island? Dolores Charlotte.
You mean this scene?
Yes,
Did I
that
notice
scene.
this scene that
yeah.
I pulled a clip for?
So do you think he's a host?
No, but I think that he's in league with Ford and knows more than people think.
Yeah, absolutely, because he let her go and she smiled.
See, so he knows about the host things, but the things that he was getting mad about were not knowing that they were copying guests. That's the stuff he didn't know. So that's why he was acting all grumpy and crap throughout this whole.
Well, what's also crazy is Stubbs figured out Dolores is.
Eat a damn gummy
I'm
bear.
not
Eat
hungry.
a
Eat
gummy,
a gummy
bear.
bear. Someone feed Carlo.
Give some to Carlo.
If Stubbs that easily figured out that it was Dolores in Charlotte's body, he's either much better at his job than we think and watches all this stuff go on, is like, yeah, that's fine. Ford said let stuff like that happen. Or, and this is the infuriating part, this is all still part of goddamn Ford's plan, and he told Stubbs all about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that sucks.
Ford's plan. Sorry.
Ford, man. You
'Cause,
can't
like,
just
really,
let it go.
Let's.
I left my notebook on the table. So Nick, you're really gonna have to
Oh, I messed up.
take
something.
charge on what we talk about next.
Well, what are you, what
Oh,
are you
I did
pulling
mess
up?
up something. Oh, I just want to talk more about. Just,
Stub?
I feel like the show is letting us know that there's more to Stubbs than we think.
Oh,
And that,
absolutely.
he's probably going to be in way more in season 3 than we thought.
Well, because the whole season, all the upper guys from Delos were putting him down and saying how incompetent he was. And like we know now at the end of this episode that he actually knows more than a lot of them did.
Like he let it all happen because
And
he
he
was
was
supposed to.
And he was chosen by Ford. Handpicked by Ford.
Mary Poppins agrees that, or thinks that he's a host.
Yeah.
I
There's
would
something up with
like to
him.
think that he's not a host because I'm getting tired of it just being like this is Battlestar Galactica
yeah,
all over again.
yeah.
He's a Cylon. He's a Cylon. Now he's a
I'm
host.
not-
He's a host.
Yeah, I'm not down for the whole anyone can be a host in this thing. I'm not down for it. That's it.
Did anyone notice in the Ford simulations, as Logan gave the tour, there was 3 host sims visible: Delos, MIB, and Maeve.
Ah.
That's an interesting point. Who is Maeve really?
Yeah. That's what, yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting point. Maybe Dolores will meet the real Maeve in the real world.
Mm-hmm. Or is this another way that they can bring Maeve back?
I
In
still
the next
think
season.
that stupid Felix and Sylvester are going to save her again.
Well, I
But
think
definitely
that,
don't leave Sylvester alone with that body.
but oh, I know. No, but that
How
goes,
is he still alive? He was supposed to get his head chopped off by the host. Like he was supposed to what happened?
Did you see that ridiculous scene where they're both sharing a horse?
We ran out of space on the stream, but that was definitely a clip that I wanted because it was so ridiculous. Oh yeah. Oops, we've been on that picture a little long.
He really likes Stubbs.
It was really, really ridiculous to see the two of them riding.
Speak up.
It was very
This
ridiculous.
picture is top notch.
It was ridiculous that they rode the same horse.
Yes,
but
it
I
was
feel like
ridiculous.
that's one of those things where, they subtly just torment Sylvester and Felix with you two ride together.
Yeah. Well, definitely.
Sylvester, you're in the back.
Felix definitely he'll play a big role next semester,
Next semester.
next season, because in season 1, he was the one that was trying to bring that dead bird to life, and he did it. So I think that's going to be a callback to him.
Oh,
being
that's
able to
an
do that
interesting point.
next season. That's how he's gonna bring.
Paris Cinema likes looking at Stubbs. So let's talk about the craziness, but I really enjoyed it, of using the Logan as the mouthpiece of the Forge.
I know. I always like it when they bring back Logan.
I mean, it was just cool to have that kind of connection to Logan again. And I wonder, why did the Forge find Logan to be such an interesting character that was like, I'm going to go with him. That's the face I'm going to present to the world.
Well, that's because the Forge was built for the purpose of trying to recreate James Delos. So that he was like the first test subject.
And if Delos truly believed that everything in his life was about his son, then I guess the Forge would link up with that idea of, this is the important person here.
Yeah, and that's what they said. They're like, out of all the people, his son was his cornerstone.
Well, here's another question that I have. When Dolores and Bernard get into the damn Forge, I think it's this one, after they enter, he looks at them and he's like, you're not supposed to be here. But then later he says that Bernard has been there before and was giving directions. But he also talks a lot about how Dolores is essential and she's the only one that could survive. Who wasn't supposed to be there?
Wait, say that one more time?
When they first meet the Logan Forge, he looks at them and says, you're not supposed to be here.
I would say Dolores is not supposed to be there.
Because she's the one that answered, too. She's like, you're not supposed to be here either. Logan never returned to the park. He never got a magic hat.
Yeah.
I agree. It's Dolores that wasn't supposed to be there because they were waiting for Arnold and Bernard so that he can help with the process of opening the door.
Because all she's trying to, at that point, she's still just trying to burn it all down instead of letting the host free.
Yeah. Let's see. Felix looking badass.
Sorry, I just want to keep calling back to that giant Carlo head at the bottom.
Oh, God. Can you bring up that Maeve scene, though? Because I want to look at that one more time.
When she kills everybody?
Yeah, when she walks in.
Oh, I was thinking more of the Revolt, where she gets all the dead hosts to pop up and kill everybody. She's like, tired of waiting for my group. They're taking too long.
That was pretty cool. I thought she was going to do that from the beginning.
I don't know what took her so long.
Yeah.
But then again, she was rewriting a lot of code at the end of last episode, and this could have been her prepping for this moment.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
And then we got that awesome, I think I have a photo of this one. Oh, Maeve with the bulls.
Yeah. See, look at how badass she is. She like walks in. You see her like group of cronies or whatever you want to call them.
Her cronies?
Stare at her in disbelief and awe.
I have her cronies somewhere. There it is. This is where their cronies walk in and they find Lee. And Lee's like, oh, I'm trying to save her. It's like, dude, you're cowering in a corner.
What saving is he doing?
It's like frustrating of just like, Lee, do something. But then he did do something. And he strangely died to save Hector. But not really Hector. It was the group. But I love this moment where Lee pulls him back and is like, no, I got it. It's my speech anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this was cool. And I admired him for his heroism up until the point where he just got ridiculously shot at because he could have been a lot better at hiding.
Well, Lucas and I were also saying he didn't buy them very much time.
I
It's
know.
like they're riding off on horses, but it's still like the QA guys have cars.
Driving Halo Warthogs.
Yeah.
Like the cars have horsepower. That's multiple horses. They're all just riding one horse.
Go ahead.
You know what we didn't see, and I was hoping was going to make some kind of appearance, was the buffalo from the title sequence.
Because we saw why the black hat was in the water.
The black hat's now important. The mother-child thing is an important image. Why they picked the buffalo, but we didn't. You brought this up last week.
Yeah.
You thought you had some weird. There was going to be some weird theory about it. I mean, like, I was kind of like, that's stupid. But at the same time, I'm like, nah, let's bring out that buffalo.
You might say by what they did use,
God.
that was bullshit.
I should have just interrupted his pun. No, but they did kind of use the buffalo with Maeve when she stormed.
One in pun, still live on the Addicted Media channel.
Someone take that away from him.
I forgot it was still there.
No, but they did use the buffalo when Maeve walked in.
Those are bulls.
Oh, that's not a. Oh, I don't know my animals. I need to go back to grade school. Oh, those are bulls, not buffaloes. You're right.
That's okay, Jess. We can transition.
Oh, gummy bears! Wait, no, there is something to the buffalo, and I have not. Okay, let me think about it, because there's something there.
You would have seen it. You would have been like, "Oh, the buffalo." Would have happened.
You're right. God
Is this
damn
one
it.
broken?
Oh!
No, it's not. Why didn't you pop it the first time?
You are so mean.
Don't pop that one.
I'm not going to.
Apologies if that was really loud to somebody.
Jeez.
Hashtag bulls no
Bulls not-
buffaloes.
Wow, okay. You made a hashtag out of it. All right. Thanks, Mary Poopin.
The second most mind-blowing thing, or actually, you know what, maybe the most mind-blowing thing in this episode was the crack into the valley beyond, into the literal valley beyond.
I didn't think you were going to call it the crack, but okay.
The door?
Yeah, it's called the door, but you know.
Looks an awful lot more like a crack to me.
This is where it
I
just
don't
got
think-
ridiculous
I don't
for
think
me.
the hosts do crack.
A bunch of them did today.
I love Westworld, and everything was really cool, and I can be like, yeah, AI, this is dope. But then what is this? Like, seriously, what is this?
I was okay with it. I like that their bodies jumped off and then they survived.
This is like way too sci-fi.
But it's not because it wasn't real.
This is all sci-fi. I get
the
it.
humans could not see it because it's not real. It was built into their programming that they could see the valley beyond.
Yeah. All right, I'll give
They
them
needed,
that.
they needed something that was very
Tangible?
like dramatic. The host needed like a dramatic image to know like this is where you're supposed to be going.
I know, but how did
I just like the image of it was just daunting as a viewer, but I understand the use of doing this towering rip in space.
And you could see such hope when they saw it in the distance. It was this,
they were like,
beacon
they know
of-
that's it. They know that's exactly what they've been looking for. Like they're not going to go and it's going to be like a hobbit door in the side of a mountain. Like
Well,
that's
look how
too
high
on the
it
nose.
goes, though. Like, what is opening it? Satellites?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, not satellite.
Well, not everything below like shot it up to create this image for the host, this beacon for the host to get to.
Okay. All right.
That's why a few episodes ago when you first saw the door, there were all of those things because they were still constructing it. Remember I had said, like, what are all these weird little things down below? Like, that was everything that was going to power that beacon, that signal.
Carlo, I do agree with you. I kind of want to see a separate little, like, show or, like, sidebar show of, like, the inner workings of Westworld. Because that just was, like, kind of out there for me. Oh, I was kind of right that it was a smoke signal. It was
That's
a whole
good
lot
point.
more.
With the Ghost Nation riding toward it,
I
it would
like
be like a
that.
smoke signal.
I like that a lot. That was really good. Huh.
Smoking the peace crack pipe.
Oh, dear. Wow. And
One in Pun, still available on the Dicted Media channel.
that's a lot.
Oh, been. I mean, what else happened in this episode?
Well, they went into the forge
Yes, there's the forge.
where Jim Delos is an asshole.
And he was always an asshole.
Yeah, even more so.
Did anyone write down that when they were inside the forge and Bernard and Dolores scanned themselves in?
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to show the Delos photo. Like he went crazy.
We can go back to that. But do you have an image inside the library?
I have a photo image.
Inside.
If you carried it through, it should.
There was a name on a book, and I thought I should have written it down. Did any viewers catch what that name on that book was?
Oh, the one that she
So
opened?
Something
no. It was
Kent
like
something?
AV Nisi or something like that. I wish we can go back to it. But there was when they were looking at that screen that was showing them the picture of the Valley Beyond.
Oh, there was a book that she
There was a
holding?
book. Well, no, it was just on this like random table, and it had the name visible. And I'm like, they don't do this kind
They
of
do it
stuff
for a reason, yeah.
just all willy nilly. There was another. What was the other? There was another book that she grabbed too.
It said like Kent.
Yeah.
Something, and I was like, have we heard this name in the show
I
before?
feel like we have.
I couldn't remember. I mean, while we're talking about different people and characters, because I've been wanting to go to this, I really, really, really enjoyed Dolores and the Man in Black meeting up again. Everything about
Yes.
their standing off against each other was great, because first they team up, and then she does the fucked up bullet thing, and then he loses some digits.
How did she know that she was gonna need that smashed bullet. When she picks it up off the ground off of Teddy, like, did she know that he was over there? That was kind of confusing. When you're like, how did she know that she was going to need that?
I think it was a memento of Teddy.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
She took his ball, and then she took the thing that almost killed him. Or I guess killed him in the moment. But how crazy is it that the housing cases for their balls are bulletproof?
I wish that were true in real life.
That's amazing. But I really don't understand how he died.
The trauma, I guess?
Yeah, you just programming tells you to die if you get a bullet.
Yeah, but
to the
she
head.
got shot how many times? So she turned off her programming to die?
No. She's getting shot in the head, the trauma, because you're bouncing around all that programming and everything.
She could have just turned down her pain threshold. But she's still going to die with
this
a
would have
shot to the
affected
head.
equipment.
Yeah,
even if it's
Bernard
bulletproof.
killed her. Remember?
Yeah, because
Oh,
she
in
got
the
shot in the head
eye.
too.
Yes,
I'll say
in
that
the
this scene
eye.
bothered me slightly. Only because I was like, there's blood all over him. How is she not getting blood all over herself, all in her hair? I don't know why, but I was just thinking like that she should just have like that gross, like bloody, like ratty hair when she gets up.
Yeah, and
and
she
she
only
gets
had,
up
like, a
and it's
blood
Hollywood
stain.
perfect.
That's true.
And I'm just like, fucking hosts.
That's true. It's Hollywood for you.
Thanks, Jazz, for repeating what I said.
I thought you said host. You said fucking host.
I said Hollywood hosts.
Oh.
Eat a gummy bear.
No. Oh, gummy bears!
It's okay. Digitally, you did.
Carl Strand. That's who SC saw on the book.
Carl Strand sounds like a name we know, or it sounds like the name of a beer.
That was one of them. That was absolutely one of them.
Oh
Carl
my god,
Strand.
Carl Strand. Who is that? That sounds really familiar.
Yeah.
SC, do you remember who that is? I think
it's a
character on the
it
or is
might
it
be
not?
a board member. I'm going to go ahead and guess it's a board member.
Wow. Mary Poopins, that is a very dark hashtag.
Snuggle me like I'm dead, Teddy. Wow.
You read it with strange inflections. I read it more as snuggle me like I'm dead, Teddy. All right, moving on. Ooh.
Yeah, see, head of operations at Delos.
That's
Thank you, Paracetamol.
So maybe that was one of the balls that she took.
A Strand.
It could be.
But
Oh, yeah, because she would have read that. But, like, I don't know.
I want to
It's
look up
so
Carl
weird
Strand's
how
face.
much...
Thank you, the tall bald guy.
It's so
Oh,
weird
yeah.
to me how
That's right.
much Dolores, like, knows how to do...
Yeah.
everything?
Yeah.
If you think about it, though,
Thank you.
she
Sorry.
sat there with Bernard/Arnold for a very long time and watched and learned everything. Because it said, I had this in my
true.
notes, she went through 11,927 trials with Bernard to try to get him ready.
Yeah, they threw out a lot of numbers today. A lot of numbers in the tens of thousands. I have them in my notebook. But
The
I don't
human
feel like getting
algorithm is apparently 10,247 lines of code. That was the simple human algorithm.
Oh.
I thought it was a good idea to take notes.
Thank you guys. Thank you
Yeah.
guys for clearing up who Carl
Yeah,
Strand
no,
is.
that's good because then it goes back
I
to
should,
when
I should pay attention more.
I
He
still
was
feel
just
like-
being like, to me, he was just like, oh, mean bald dude. And I wasn't really giving him any.
I like the idea more that it's a beer type. Carl Strand. It sounds like a beer.
God.
And ironically, he had a beard.
I need more.
I need more too. I'm just gonna finish this. So
We all had long days today. It took,
I
it was
know.
just- this was such a.
Pearls not. Wow. Hashtag pearls not balls.
did you see that? That was amazing.
I really enjoy that it's all up in your hair now. So
Oh,
you get to deal
shit.
with that for the rest of the show.
Oh man. Oops. Oh, it is all of my hair. Shit. Do we talk about Charlotte Hale already being a host now? We did, right?
Not really.
Because I want to go back to that scene because that was kind of like a cool what the fuck moment. I wasn't really.
So this is when she revealed herself,
Yes.
and then she went and she killed everybody. And I
Yes.
guess the sideways no looking shot is like what Dolores does. That's her like badass thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a fun moment to be like, oh shit.
That was cool. I liked that.
And makes me want to go back and rewatch this whole season to be like, so that was
I
Dolores
defi-
the
I
whole
definitely
time.
Yeah,
In
right?
the 11 days
I'm
later
gonna rewatch
timeline.
stuff.
That was a good reveal. Like, good job, Westworld. Like, you
'Cause I
got
didn't
me.
see that coming.
I need to make a little more heads or tails of Emily's situation
What's your problem?
Oh, it's playing again?
That's the live for us.
Oh, that's a live.
This is what our viewers are seeing.
Emily's situation. Oh, because she's a host.
How many of these have you done? I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Damn.
I want to rewatch. I want to rewatch and kind of make sense of the whole Emily thing because I'm like, wait, okay, so she was a host, okay, and again, I've loved this show. It's been such a fun ride so far, but this whole anyone could be a host thing is the Battlestar Galactica problem.
It's a little cop out.
And well, it's like you can't you can't get invested in anybody. You can't actually form any opinions about anybody because it's like, oh, so they've been mind controlled this whole time.
Well, not necessarily mind controlled, but I think that's why like they spent so long to try and make them like their own thing. I'm using humanize again because now it's like, all right, Charlotte is now Dolores, but Dolores is her own person. She's not really just like a host. She has like her own free will and she's doing things.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
Who's speaking? Over here?
SC. That explains why she hit her face while interviewing Bernard, and he gave the location of the Abernathy control unit, and she asked him to repeat it.
I got 6.
Why are there so many hashtags tonight? What is going on?
Absolutely, yeah, I agree. I agree with you,
internet
SC.
stuff, man.
I thought at first it was going to be Ford that was running the show, but we find out that he was actually pretty purged from when Bernard took him out of his system.
Yeah. Can I say I was pretty pissed off that Charlotte killed Elsie? It was
she didn't make it to dental school.
Well, there's that. But it was more of we waited so long for Elsie to come back. She came back and she did so little just to get killed. But luckily her death meant something because it's kind of what spurred Bernard to be like, fuck humans.
She was a catalyst. I guess it was a good thing.
So she ended up having a role, but it was a pretty anticlimactic end
so
for her.
So technically she did save the day in her death.
Yeah, but she was a stronger character than that. She should have been able to do more. And I feel bad that she got kind of the shaft.
Hey,
No pun intended on that one.
Oh, yeah, there was no pun. Well, she was copied. So they could always make a.
How do you know she was copied?
Because that's what, that's what Charlotte Hale said. She read her profile and.
Yeah, but I think they were keeping track of the people in the park.
Human resources profiles.
Unless they have like special Westworld hats they make the technicians wear for like a couple of weeks, and then they copy their brain patterns that way. Because if you don't wear a hat, they can't copy your brain. The hat is scanning you actively.
I thought we agreed that it was any attire.
No, we never agreed on that. The hat. The whole point is scanning your brain. You can't wear a shoe and it scans your brain.
Magic.
I guess part of it depends.
Hat.
Part of it depends on where your brains are, Jazz. So maybe you could wear shoes.
Oh, okay. I see. Your jokes aren't funny. Whatever. Yeah, I'm really sad that Elsie died because she was like one of my favorite characters. Her and Maeve both had a sad ending this season.
But I think Elsie's dead. Maeve can be brought back.
Well, true. Yeah. Agreed. But still.
Yeah, I'm really glad they didn't like Jon Snow her.
And she had then again, because she got reunited with her daughter, that should have been the moment where you're like, oh, she's dead.
Yeah, I think that's why they re-emphasized the promise that she made was the fact that her daughter made it to the Valley Beyond makes it so that she kept her... What?
No, that scene is funny. You can continue that, and then I'll say my thought on the scene.
That was a very touching moment and that spurred giggles for you?
Yeah. It was funny because the daughter, like, remembered that that's her mom, and then she looks at her, like, other lady that's holding her, like, bitch, you ain't my mom. That's my real mom.
Wow.
No? Anyone?
Wow.
Anyone?
I don't think that moment. I completely think you made that up.
Oh.
I thought she remembered that she was her mom before that, but that they brought the other mom along. So it's like, well, this is the stand-in. If you can't get Maeve back, you need somebody to raise you.
Yeah, let's just have someone.
Well, anyway, what I was trying to say was that the fact that she got her, despite whether or not she recognized or identified the daughter identified Maeve as her mother. She got her to the other side and kept her promise of keeping her safe.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's where she found resolution.
Yes, that was nice.
And Ake got through, because I know every time we watched it with Lucas, and then when you were watching it, there's that thought of like, oh, he got shot in the head.
I was gonna cry my eyes out if he did not make it out there.
But then he like, I'm good. I'm good. Ah, I made it into the widescreen world.
In the
it's amazing that I care about him so much after just one episode. even though throughout this whole series I've been like, fuck these guys, like stop bugging everybody.
Stop bugging everybody. Just mind your business.
I'd like to point out though that in a show full of Shogun worlds and Westworlds and Raj World, we now have widescreen world.
Yeah, towards the end, they were really ramping up the widescreen, full screen, widescreen, full screen.
Well, it was to make it clear that you understood that at the very end, they were in the real world because it was not widescreen. Mm-hmm. Which went right over Jazz's head.
I'm not listening to you. I'm reading what SC has to say.
You mean you're not paying attention to us, but reading something online? That sounds very Jazz.
You know, SC has good points, and she pays a lot of attention to detail, and it's great. She said that she forgot to mention earlier that in in the Forge, she saw Felix giving Maeve diagnostics in one of the scenes, so that was cool. I'm like, yeah, like, I'm pretty sure a lot of the Westworld employees had to have been in Westworld at some point, right?
Well, the other thing is Logan Forge. I don't know what I'm going to call him yet. Lorge. He's pretty specifically said, if I need to recreate a scenario from somebody's memory.
Sorry.
If I need to recreate people from other people's memories, I just play their part. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they have a Felix in there. He just knows what they were doing in that moment, so he just plays their part.
So Felix was there at some point in someone else's memory.
And there's a chance that Felix may also be in the Forge. Maybe he wore like a special surgery hat that scanned him. Now I got to rewatch everything just to see who's wearing hats and what scenes and be like, they're in the Forge. They're in the Forge.
Well, it's interesting that Maeve wasn't in the scene with Jim Delos, because Maeve was the madam of that brothel, but it was Clementine that he was actually talking to.
No, Clementine always had that line
she always had the first conversation.
That was her line. That was her conversation.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Oh. I thought that was a Maeve conversation. Or a Maeve line.
Maeve usually steps in later.
Clementine usually does the got nothing but a rind on ya line. No?
You mean she's going to say that to Delos, who has a full beard?
Ah, touche. Good point. Moving on.
All right.
Dang, it's really hot.
Forgin. I think Forgin's the way to go.
Because he's forging ahead?
For Logan Forgin.
Forgin. Because he's forging ahead?
Yeah.
Okay.
He really wanted to drive that pun home. Just give it to him once so he doesn't have to repeat himself, please. Only one Felix.
Essie is all about this idea that there's something important about Felix being there.
She's probably onto something. There's a reason why they do certain things. Everything for Westworld has a reason.
What did they say in that Simpsons episode? If there's ever something you're not sure about, it was a witch.
It was a witch.
I think in Westworld it becomes, if you're ever not sure about why somebody's doing something, they're just a host.
Yeah. Honestly, Westworld shouldn't have given it away by making the Man in Black very invincible throughout the whole season. Just not have him get shot so many times and survive. We wouldn't have come to that conclusion.
He was a very determined old man who was actually a host. But that's what we thought at the time.
Seriously. Yes, paracetamol. Somebody stop him. But I'm glad that Teddy finally made it to the Forge, even though he was alone.
He was going to go meet up with everybody afterwards. He got there late. There's like an entrance field, and then you go find everybody. You were so hung up on this Teddy's by himself.
Teddy's always late to the game. But he's never coming back.
Did you expect Bernard to be the one to kill Dolores?
I guess to a certain degree it was living up to that. Because Ford was preparing him for something. Ford was preparing him to pull the trigger. We weren't sure like to who, I guess. I honestly thought Maeve and Dolores was going to have a battle, but...
So you're saying it's all Ford's fault. So whenever Bernard does something crazy, Ford did it.
Carlos says, take that hat off of me. Why?
Where's Carlo?
He's talking right now.
I'm not seeing that.
Carlo Z.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Take that hat.
No, the hat's...
No, the hat's good.
Your face literally will not stay up without the hat.
It looks good,
That's a
Carlo.
load-bearing hat.
This is actually a good look for you. You should consider this more often.
Indeed.
Yeah, Teddy does need a vacay. I agree with you, paracetamol.
We had a first version of Carlo, but it wasn't good enough, so we improved him. So he's stronger now.
Yeah.
Good shoulders. He's a lot smarter now.
Oh my God, yeah. He's the strong
Reed,
silent type now.
What's the episode like? Or what's the name of the episode? Exactly. See?
Oh my God.
And how do you know it's really Carlo? What's the fidelity test? Carlo, what's the name of any of the characters on the show? No answer. He has no idea.
Yep.
It's Carlo.
Yep. We got him.
Oh my God.
Perfect.
Good job, guys. Good job. Oh my God. Oh man.
The Carlo head is back.
Okay, what else? What else
Teddy-
happened?
Teddy dead. Teddy needs a vacay. Teddy dead.
No, I know.
Teddy's in the Valley Beyond.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. What, she just throw the ball in there? How'd you get it in there? Oh, she plopped it in the bay thing. Oh.
She put the ball in its socket. She put the ball in the cup.
Oh my God.
Wait, okay, so I'm a little bit confused at the really ending. Can we talk about that one more time with the men in black going down the stairs?
Oh, Carlo SC says hi. Why are you so rude? He's so rude. Sorry, SC.
Did you pour some beer for Carlo? How rude are you?
Yeah. Oh.
Go get another beer out of the fridge.
I know there are no more.
There's no more.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, yeah, there is.
Oh, that means I get to drink Carlo's beer because Carlo can't physically drink it.
in the fridge weren't available for...
Oh, yeah, we had to lie to Jazz earlier and tell her that the other beers actually weren't there
Yeah.
to prevent a
kinda mean.
jazzening.
A jazzening? That sounds like...
I know what it sounds like. Oh, he said really, guys. Oh, I think we hurt Carlo's feelings. Look at him. There's a little tear.
You're so dumb.
I more enjoy that you looked. You looked like you were going to see something.
Oh, yay. More beer.
Make sure you pour some
Wait,
for Carlo.
can I ask you guys like an honest question like about this episode? Was this episode like really everything that you thought it was going to be? Did it like exceed your expectations? Did it underwhelm you?
Personally, I felt very whelmed. It wasn't underwhelming.
I was properly whelmed.
Properly well.
I was not overwhelmed. I was not underwhelmed. I was very well whelmed.
There were points where it fluctuated with me. It was exciting. Underwhelmed with the man in black being a host.
Oh, that's messed up. Sorry. Remember when I said earlier that the human algorithm is 10,247 lines of code? And Paracetamol says that Carlo is only 10 lines of code.
Oh, paracetamol.
He might be 20. We put a pillow inside of him. How do you still have more?
Oh, exceeded. Okay. But what did you guys feel about the men in black being a host?
I didn't feel like that was a stinger to like blow your mind. I felt that was a like, all right, well, you confirmed something at the end. But
is he a different kind of host though?
he's the first. I think that the real stinger, now that I think about it, is technically then he's the first successful human host. Because she's like, you've been gone a really long time. You're still functioning. Let's test your fidelity again.
Oh. Good point. Very good point.
Awakening moment begin when he
See,
finally
that's
dies.
that's a very good point, SC.
Stupid surface. We're good now.
In a good way. Yeah, paracetamol. Yeah, see, you bring up a very good point.
I think that he woke up to the fact that he's a host personally after the board gala and the Dolores massacre from the beginning of the season. I pitched that at the beginning of this season.
So that's when you think that he died, was at the end of the first season? Because they never really explained when he died.
I think that by them saying you've been gone a really long time, I think he's been a host since we've known him. Since
he had his encounter with Maeve. That's what I say.
Oh, remember we talked about that too?
Yes.
That Maeve killed him.
Yeah, which is why it was
such a... That's why she got pulled out of that section.
Yep. That's what I think. And that's why she became Ford's favorite host. He's like, fuck yeah.
And if he's part of some sort of long game, end game, Ford is just like making him bide his time by making these stupid little games for him. Because Ford is still interested in the Man in Black, or he was, and that's why he kept torturing him.
Yeah, and is Ford still alive?
No. Nope, I think they pretty definitively said that Bernard erased him.
Okay, fine, fair enough.
Yeah, he definitely knows now. I think he figured it out when he was digging around in his arm, but they weren't very clear with us because they just showed a lot of blood coming out. But I think he probably felt something.
Because he got interrupted again.
Either that, or he's a different type of body.
That's what I was saying. Is he a different kind of model that's purely Delos made? So it has nothing to do with Ford.
He got a special body because he's the owner and he knows everything and does everything. And he's like, my body's going to be special. No plug-in ports.
Still an old man, thow.
Everything on me is going to be Bluetooth.
Right.
I'm the Apple, I'm the Apple model. I don't believe in ports.
Model. Because the fact that he didn't have the thing in his arm and then his fingers got blown off and it looked like bone in there.
Does anybody know what DEAD means? Acronym DED? Because I think Mary Poppins is trying to say Ford is like...
No, that's internet speak for dead.
Okay.
I took it as she said it has been a really long time because it's in the future after the park is closed. Oh, after the park is closed, which is why she said... This is all that's left of the world you built. See, that's my question, SC, was when he went down into that elevator, it was all sandy and like there was no water.
It had to have happened. If you think about
sandy is the apartment.
No, but he was in the exact location where in a previous scene Bernard had just flooded everything.
No, that's the forge.
He was at the forge.
No, he was at the apartment. That sandy part was at the apartment. Was it?
I think it was at the forge.
He was at the forge.
But I think he went up and everybody else was going down. Because him and Bernard both got in the elevator at the same time and or around the same time, and he was already gone by the time Bernard got there. But I think they made it pretty clear that...
Oh, you know what? You're right.
The Man in Black is found... Right before Charlotte leaves the island, they're like, we found a survivor. But I think that whole flashback at the end of the credits was showing you, like, this is where he disappeared to. Yeah. This is why you didn't see him. So it can't be some post-apocalyptic scene.
But see, that's what SC's point was. But that's what SC's point was, is that maybe that's in the far future and that's everywhere. All that was left of the park that he built. But then he wouldn't have been that messed up.
Because he still had all of his injuries.
He still had like the same injuries. He looked exactly the same.
I think that this was just showing you where he was for the final moments of this episode. I suddenly very much regret buying the poppers.
Well, I think we're done. I needed to do one. You got me like 3 times today. I needed to do one.
All right.
That's a great shot right there. Lucas throwing the thing.
I hate you. Yeah, I really want to know when that was. The apartment is in the forge. See? Yeah, that's a very good point, I see. It seems like it was in the future.
I think the Man in Black went or got caught during something when it was all flooded, and then when they drained it, he came down, he talked to Emily, and then he got found by the QA people.
There's even like light coming from the top, as if like the top of that cavern was like broken down. Like it looked very different from.
He could have been like trapped in the elevator during all the flood stuff, and this was him after the fact.
Yeah, it's just but it's weird though because at the end of the other scene, he's in the tent, and they're like,
Well, no, it still works timeline wise. So gets flooded, gets trapped in the elevator, a different elevator than Bernard took, or he was wandering somewhere because he still had all these injuries. So when Delos people return, they, deflood the area. So then he's able to go to this other area, and because all the floodwaters are gone, that leaves like sand and dirt behind.
but it wouldn't be.
Why was he still injured? Is the thing.
I guess so. I don't know. That's just that timeline fucked me up because I don't think it's the same. I agree with SC. Like I feel like there's something about that was way different.
It's a good theory. I like it, but I'm not sure that if we're reading too much into the sand.
But that's what we have to do with Westworld. Every little detail
I am
counts.
on the side that I think the setting of the Forge apartment, the Forge/apartment.
It's in the same. They're like one and the same.
That's why I said Forge/apartment.
I also want to point out that when Dolores and Bernard first go into the Forge, they find themselves in a digital version of that apartment, and Bernard makes a comment let me finish.
Sorry.
Bernard makes the comment of, this is just like the apartment above, which made me think, so maybe there's like a deleted scene or something where they walk through another one of these things.
Yeah, there's a couple tests going on for important hosts. But what I was going to say was the fact that the apartment's rebuilt, because the last time we saw it, got blown to smithereens, and now it's all nice and new again.
To answer,
So someone had to rebuild.
To answer SC, he didn't get rescued on the beach. We're talking about Man in Black. They said that they found him, so we don't know where they found him. They could have found him near the Forge.
Yeah, even when he's walking into the elevator, there's nothing to suggest that it was even during what's going on. Or like what somebody here suggested, Paracetamol suggested, is that he's getting rebooted at the hand blow-off part. So that's because that's the longest, or that's like the most recent backup, I guess. I don't know.
We're definitely gonna have to come back to this timeline.
That's the other. I mean, that's in true Westworld fashion. They asked more questions than they did answer.
Yeah.
I like this scene. I like when Dolores and the Man in Black rode in to save Bernard. Something just weirdly fitting about the three of them being together.
I know this is the first time that they are, right?
I think so. This was that scene we were talking about earlier too, where he was not recognizing him.
Yeah.
And that was like, oh, hint,
Yes,
hint.
because the fact that Bernard doesn't even know that he's a host. Nobody knows that he's a host.
Because his was like the super, like, level 7 project was William.
Yeah.
Nobody knew about that one.
Mm-hmm. But who made him?
Delos.
I think William made him toward the end. That's why he stopped working so hard on the Delos host project and was like, screw him. Let's just work on me. Let's get this
William
right.
made himself as a host.
Either that or Ford made him as punishment.
I would want to say Ford made him.
Because even at the bar in that in last week's episode, Ford was like, I think one last game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I'm going to make a copy of you and then torture that copy because that'll kind of be like torturing you. Who knows? There may still be a William in the real world. We don't know that William is dead. All we know is that there's another William Man in
there's a
Black running around the
copy.
park.
True.
Like, that would be fascinating if Dolores encountered real life William.
But then his daughter, was that his real daughter or was that host daughter? Are there two daughters?
Maybe his daughter's still alive in the real world.
Damn, there are
Maybe
a lot
we'll
of
see her
questions.
pushing around this like crippled old William in a wheelchair in the real world.
Yeah. So, okay, Westworld did a really good job of pretty much tying up all the things that we thought needed to be tied up, but then they presented more
That's what they do.
possibilities. Yeah. Which I can get down to that.
It's Dolores and her
I can
balls.
get down to that.
There's
Dolores
this
and her
weird
balls.
dichotomy now of Dolores telling Bernard, I had to bring you back to survive. We have a very slim possibility, but we can't do it. I can't do it without you here, but we can't be friends. We can't work together. You're going to try to stop me. Then it's like, then why bring him back? What is it that the two of you are going to do while fighting with each other that will make the host survival happen?
It's very good versus evil. Very like
I'm almost wondering. Okay, I'll give you good versus evil. That's an
religious
interesting thought.
imagery / symbolism throughout this whole season.
I almost thought it was
She's the devil.
maybe Dolores has this like evil plan where she's like, let Bernard go out there and befriend the humans and make them think the hosts are pliable and that they're all like him, and then she'll come in and kill everybody. So she's using him.
But okay, remind me, did Charlotte know that he's a host?
Charlotte figured it out because she walked into no, but that Charlotte wouldn't have known. Because
Yeah.
that was Dolores at that point. So Charlotte never knew that he was a host.
So she needs him because Delos Company thinks that he's a part of
Yeah, everybody that
running
knew.
the park.
Everyone that knew that Bernard was a host is dead.
Pretty much.
I think pretty much. So she's just like, so Dolores is surrounding herself with people who can infiltrate.
Yes.
Although she walked away from Bernard. I get the impression that she was like leaving him in Arnold's house. Like, this is yours now.
Okay, SC is asking, what made Bernard smirk when he opened the door to the new world? It seems that it was either very familiar or ironic, and he instantly knew what to do and stepped out boldly.
Can I say Mary Poppins has jokes tonight?
Mary Pippin does have jokes.
I didn't even notice that smirk, to be honest. It could be that he walked out and it was like, I'm in the real world. I'm free and I know what I have to do. I like that thought.
Well, because I think what it was is that he found a little bit of solace in the fact that, oh, there was a plan for the host. There was a good plan for the hosts. Because he did not believe that it was a good idea to just let hosts out into the real world. Not a good idea. So he's like, what? So he doesn't know what the other option is for these hosts. And so when he sees that there's a viable option,
well, my question is,
he's happy about it.
are all the hosts in the Valley Beyond really free and safe, or will we see them all again? I feel like her throwing Teddy in there was a way for the producers to be like, he'll be back.
Well, we are going to, I think, see the Valley Beyond again, because even
Wide World. What am I
Wide
thinking?
World.
Widescreen world.
Because even Bernard was saying, when right before Dolores was gonna throw Teddy into there, he was just like, wait, like the link isn't secure, like anyone can get into there. And she's like, no one can, blah 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 blah, and then she put Teddy in there. But I think there is a possibility, like there's somewhere.
I thought that she was saying that it was the real world, because they were pretty clear about every time it was a digital world, it was widescreen. SE, and this was definitely full screen picture.
Okay, can you clarify what she's asking?
She's asking
Which scene when he smirked?
This is all, I think, toward the end when they're at Arnold's house in the real world. And I think she's asking if Dolores said it was a new world, not the real world. But I think she said it was the real world. And they confirmed it with the full screen pictureness.
See, that was my debate earlier, SC, was I didn't know where they were. Because I thought all three of them were in like the digital world, but
this is full screen. This is Charlotte Dolores walking to the house. Everything that's full screen is not in the cradle, not in the forge. So everything digital is widescreen, more or less. So
and SC, the reason why we're saying that is based off of like previous episodes.
So like this is Logan, when they met Logan in the forge, and you can see the black bars at the top and the bottom. They've basically done, every time it's a digital world, they go super widescreen with the black bars. And the real world is, wait, I just had it. Oh,
Well, I don't even think
full screen.
the phrase.
It's a visual cue.
I don't think the phrase "real world" is ever even used. When Dolores talks about new
Of course,
world,
it's trademarked. We've learned a lot about trademarks lately.
I think when Dolores is referring to the new world, she's referring to regular human Earth.
And it's a new world for the hosts.
And it's a
'cause they've
new
never
world to
been
them
there.
because it's all the real world except when it's not in widescreen world.
And next season we'll find out when hosts
guys are
stop
making
being
things
fake and
so
start
confusing.
being real.
It's not no, it's not confusing.
I may need to watch. I thought she said she had already made a new world for them.
But she wanted only the real world. She never wanted a fake made up world. I don't think that she would make a new digital world.
Yeah, because she kept referring to like the world that they were depriving us of.
Yeah,
And then she
Dolores
even
wants
had that-
the real world because
She had that quote.
she had the quote. She's like,
Things in the real world are irreplaceable, or real things.
Yeah,
something.
real things are irreplaceable.
yeah.
And I think that she was literally talking about Arnold, right? Because she couldn't recreate Arnold, and she was like, "That's." I feel like her connection mainly was with Arnold,
No, she did recreate Arnold.
but not really because
changed
She
it.
gave
She
up.
changed him.
She gave up and said, "You shouldn't be Arnold, or you're not going to be Arnold. You're going to be something different now." Because she realized that you can't just replace it. You're irreplaceable. I thought that's what that scene was harkening back
at
to.
the beginning when she was saying things like there'd be these tiny mistakes, these tiny cracks that would turn into chasms.
No, but then she did make a faithful copy.
No, she didn't. Bernard is not Arnold.
She said I had to change it, and that's why he's Bernard. Because he was like there were a few small mistakes that were appearing here and there, and they would turn into bigger problems. So trying to fully replicate something that's real was becoming a problem. So she had to change it dramatically.
Oh, see, I got that. I got that a little differently because that whole scene with Logan, the systems person in the forge. Forgin. With Forgin and him discussing how he came across or how he was trying to rebuild James Delos. No matter how many times that he built him, he always remained the same. Like it always ended up in that same path of
within the forge
of Logan killing himself. So I thought that was like they made a faithful copy.
Well, that's in the forge. They're talking about putting inside a body.
Oh, and
That's
then it deteriorates.
And Dolores and all of her Ford or Bernard building was in the cradle.
Okay. All right.
And I don't think that
Chasms? There's chasms. What is it? I'm a little illiterate.
Chasms.
Carlo, what is it?
yeah. Ask Carlo to read something. It's okay, Carlo. I understand why you'd say
No.
something on this one.
Chasms.
Yeah, that was chasms.
You need to move some of the balloons. I feel like they're blocking the beauty of the arm that I created for Carlo.
There's Carlo. Hey.
Like he's holding that mic. And in case anybody technical is wondering, that mic is plugged in case Carlo decides to speak.
The wire is gaff taped down to the floor.
You really did, and it's
We're
on.
really hoping for success here.
All right, Carlo, you're up. What are your thoughts, Carlo? What are you thinking?
Fidelity. There's no thoughts.
No thoughts. Essie, not only do I need to second watch this episode, I'm going to watch the entire season in a binge to make sense of.
On that topic,
What it is.
this is the final episode of the season, the final review of the season.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about just the season as a whole. I know I've been talking to a lot of people this season, and comments, let me know if you feel the same. How many people have you talked to that have just straight up said, I've been bored, I couldn't get into it?
Shazam.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this season. From the first episode, it was so full of mysteries and intriguing things going on.
But like, what was the reason why they were bored? Was there like less sex, less nudity, less violence, less killing? Is that why they thought they were bored, or
Maybe less nudity, I'll say. Especially in the
they did
beginning
have
of
that
the
full
season.
orgy scene?
Beginning of the season, it just felt like was it Carlo that was always saying it? Or maybe it was you. It was always just like man parts. There was no lady parts.
Well, that one episode, yeah, the dong ratio has been out of control.
I like that.
But there was a lot of action. Remember the battle at the fort, whatever, Fort Depressing, whatever they called it.
Fort Depressing. I know. I don't know what's that called again, but yeah, you're right.
And then everything in the Mesa. Every time somebody got there was another battle. Like the Mesa got a little ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, it's like, what other shows are they like trying to compare it to? But I think
Trying to compare this to Game of Thrones, I think, hurts for so many people because there's
But
a lot of
you
people that tell them
can't.
this is HBO's next Game of Thrones, and they jump in expecting to see that, and it's like, no, this is such a different show.
But even Game of Thrones like kind of eased up on the ass and titties over the seasons. But
but they,
we're not talking about that show.
No, because
why this has a much smaller audience and is less accessible is because of the first nonlinear storytelling.
Yeah.
Second, it's so philosophical. It has so much to do with consciousness and free will and yada yada yada. That those concepts, like, unless you're like pretty well versed in it, you get lost in it sometimes, and it becomes.
By the way, character arc of Jasmine over the course of the reviews. She was offered 2 gummy bears. She ate one and gave the other to Lucas.
Improvement. Resolution.
People can change, Westworld. People can change. Haha.
Jazz is 10,248 lines of code.
No, but you're right. Continue your thought.
And yeah, the beginning of the season was not as action packed.
Well, that's what Carlo's saying on the comments too. Is he felt there was less action this season compared to season 1, but he wants to point out that there was more world building this season. There was more. Here's Shogun World. Here's Raj World. Here's the other parts of Westworld you haven't seen yet. Here's the door. Here's the forge. Here's the cradle.
It's really not fair for people to even want to compare it to Game of Thrones.
It's
I'm
not
sure
fair.
if you ask HBO, they're like, no, that's not the next Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Because
There's literally 5 new Game of Thrones. But we're not talking about that in this one.
And it's like, it's a sci-fi show. It is a show that deals a lot with very deep subject matters.
It's thought-provoking.
Lucas, you might want to get closer to the mic.
And and I don't. Yeah. So for people to not be excited about it, I mean, I get it. I totally get it as to why this is not a very accessible show. But if you just buckle up and just say, you know what, I'm gonna accept everything. It's a good ride.
You can go ahead.
I think what's great about this show, and I've like said it, like I think in other episodes at the end when I'm like already kind of buzzed and I'm really passionate about it. But it kind of makes us really think about ourselves as people. Like, you know, what makes us human, like the decisions and choices that we have.
I like this point because the show, at some point you thought it was just going to be robots versus humans.
Yeah.
But what it's really about is
more than that.
What makes a human, what makes somebody a robot, AI, I suppose. And Paracetamol said the same thing. They're not just clashing physically, it's the clash of minds, of what makes one or the other.
Yeah, minds and morals and ethics and all that good shit that makes us human, I guess.
Can I say, Essie, this might be my favorite positive note about the season. A few episodes lagged, but this season snatched me bald. I've never heard that expression before, but I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I'm like reading Essie. You have a lot of great comments.
I mean, there could be some people as well that maybe watch it the same way they watch Game of Thrones, where there's a lot of like talking and cheering. And this is one of those shows where like you have to watch in silence. You have to look at everything and like pay attention to every line of dialogue. Some people can't stand that because then it's not a great group watch experience.
Yeah, and I know you guys don't like The Walking Dead, but this is exactly what kind of like The Walking Dead goes for. I mean, I guess I can't really talk about it because I kind of fell off like the last season, but they were going really more for like that human interaction, and like that's what Westworld is all about. Like they built a whole season on trying to make these hosts come alive, and I thought that they did a great job at it.
And if you're watching a show looking for big triumphant moments that you're going to walk away and be like, yeah, this isn't the show for you. I mean, this finale killed everybody. Literally everybody died except for Stubbs.
Yeah.
Some came back, but everybody died.
True Avenger fashion.
I feel like I need to take the mic off.
Oh, is this
so
the
I can
year
look
of
at
death?
Lucas.
Is this what happens when we have governmental problems? We don't get political. Sorry.
I know. I thought we don't talk about religion or politics. No, we brought religion on
Jazz is
already.
breaking it down. We should all grab the mic.
We're getting relaxed.
Yeah. Well, now I want to bring this up to me so that I can look at Lucas too, because I feel like I'm looking this way. So,
I actually don't like holding it, and I said I would be the one to hold it, but I'm just fine like this.
I agree, paracetamol.
Mini Freddie Mercury thing and just hold the whole thing.
I didn't get enough slack to really hold it comfortably, so I'm okay with this.
I know it's taped down.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, thank you, SC. Are you a Walking Dead fan also? Paracetamol, she's like, yeah, if you're not into AI and the philosophical challenges it presents, you're not gonna be into it. I agree. Like, I mean, and that's the same thing with like, I was gonna bring up a Game of Thrones thing, but like when you first watch Game of Thrones, it reels you in with like all the violence and like the nakedness. They were like visiting brothels like every single episode, but then by like this season, like they're not, and it's definitely much more than
You're
ass
right.
and
There
titties
was
and
no
violence.
action this last season of Game of Thrones.
No, there was
Thank
definitely
God, thank God.
action. Not that much ass and titties, which could always be more of. I'm just kidding.
I love that everyone died and everyone was a host. They just did what people
SC, I like your style.
Mm-hmm.
They went there, and most shows would not go there. Then again, this show has the out of, well, they were just a host, so I can bring them back.
But that's the thing, though. They made it a point to where you do get invested in the host, to where they're not just a host; they're an actual character that you care about.
Yeah, but there's a little bit of a problem in that every time a host dies, you're like, well, was their cortical sphere damaged? If not, we can bring
Is
them
there
back.
a backup? Yeah, is there a backup somewhere? Like, so there's no stakes anymore because they're essentially immortal.
But they are kind of limiting or increasing the stakes, only because they had the cradle, but then they destroyed the cradle, and then they had the forge, but then now like they're not making the forge so easily accessible. So like
I think the forge is. I think the widescreen world was separate from the forge. Like it was created in the forge, but then they split it off. So I think the forge is still part of the park. Because the forge is what Delos is using to copy people's minds and do all that work.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
So I think that's still there. I just think widescreen world split off.
Oh, okay.
Because even when they were uploading everything, they're like, this is too much information. This isn't the host or the guest data. So it was like they weren't uploading and saving all the guest data. They were just saving widescreen world.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that name.
Yeah, me too. SC. On a side note, I was really into Walking Dead. I kind of got lost. I mean, I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan, but
You might say Mary Poppins at the cradle got rocked.
Cradle is gone. Yeah, the cradle is gone.
Well, Carlo is looking at me and tapping his watch. So
Alrighty. Do you guys have any final thoughts? Do you guys want us to discuss anything like SC, paracetamol? Mary Poopin, you guys have really great comments. So if not, we're going to bring it home.
we really appreciate everybody tuning in and commenting with us and discussing with us all season for sure.
This has been so much fun doing this all season. I wasn't like I wasn't a huge Westworld fan, but being able to do this and being able to talk about this show in this kind of setting has really made me appreciate the show so much more, because this is one of the only shows I can think of that can warrant doing a show like this. I know The Walking Dead tries to do it, but I don't know. This show is a gem, I think, and we've had a lot of fun talking about it.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say on that note about this show being a gem, if anybody has ideas, and I know we've been saying it for a while now, but seriously, if you have ideas, I know Essie, you recently started following us on Instagram. Everybody else, look for us on Instagram. It's AddictedMP. Give us your thoughts of what other shows you think would be a good talk. You think would be a good review. Like we're actively looking for the next thing that we want to do.
Drinking and talking about this is like my shit. I love this. So like
again, Jazz needs a new excuse to drink on Sundays. So
I do need an excuse, any excuse. I was gonna bring Macallan tonight, but I didn't have time to get it. And I was gonna bring Macallan 12 in honor of the Man in Black, as like, fuck it, straight. He is the host. We always knew that. So Westworld needs to bring like their game up next season and really blow our minds. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, there's no crazy theory of the week because we don't have another episode coming up.
What's gonna happen next season?
Ooh, yeah. What's gonna happen next season? One final thought. What do you think? What do you guys think? SC, what do you think? Let me hear your thoughts. I love your thoughts, girl.
Real world. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, SC.
it's a whole new ball game now.
SC, we're going to the real world. We have
Where is
Dolores
it?
unleashed.
Where are we? Can you tell by the architecture of the home?
Australia.
Where are we?
No, there's somewhere like off Asia.
Definitely not Australia. But
Do you know how fucking big Australia is? You know?
You've been all about Australia for way too long.
Yeah, there's like
It's not
literally
happening.
zero evidence behind that theory.
It's probably an island off of Japan.
that's
Thank
the
you,
thing.
SC,
SC
that'd
is
be
like
awesome.
there's we need thought-provoking shows. We need
Otherwise,
And,
Carlo's
like,
going to throw out stupid theories. Carlo wants us to
Silicon
review
Valley.
Silicon Valley. I thought he was saying that Westworld was in Silicon Valley.
The thing about wanting to do a comedy is that the only thing you could do, pretty much all you can do, is repeat jokes. Well, but I guess with Silicon Valley, you can kind of like
If we reviewed
digress.
a season, we
Yeah.
could do a comedy. But episode to episode, I feel like there's just not enough content, and they're not really there for theories and mysteries or stuff to really discuss.
Right.
It's just more of let's recap the episode.
Yeah.
We'd rather talk about
Yeah, that's what I love about Westworld. There's like so much, and I love reading the theories online because everyone gets so creative. They had this thing. I don't know if you saw this, but I guess the Reddit readers, posters or whatever, they were like really on their game last season. So I guess Westworld like did like a little tribute to the Reddit readers, and like you can find like the little snippet on YouTube, and it's really cool because you see like Bernard going through the train, going through Sweetwater, and then you see Dolores singing with Clementine. And I forgot the song, but the song was like awesome. It's a really cool thing. You should watch it if you find it.
You know, you ramble too much.
I think it's time that we start wrapping things up. I think to celebrate the
I
end,
ramble. What the fuck?
I think to celebrate the end of the
I'm
reviews.
the one that like talks about the show all the fucking
3,
time.
2,
What are you guys gonna
1.
do?
And on that note, thank you so much for watching Westworld Reviews. We've had a really good time. I am Nick, as always.
Jasmine.
And I'm Lucas.
I've never gotten this. Oh, why is it wet and cold? Why is it cold?
Keep in touch. Look for us to be announcing our next review, hopefully sometime within the next month or so. If you have ideas, again, hit us up. Otherwise, have a good night, guys. And thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
Good night, guys. Hope to see you soon.
It's